We have to put this government and all the judges on notice. And that was my mission with this rally, and I promote it as much as I can so people can, first of all, know about what's going on. The reality, I realized that as significant as Skelly case is, most people in our movement have no idea what's happening, let alone people outside. So I've been on a major blitz campaign, all this week. I'm sure you've seen countless interviews, videos, whatever I can, and you should do the same. Share our contact. Rebel News did a very good half-an-hour interview as well with Adam Skelly and Chris Weisdorf. Give it up for Chris Weisdorf, by the way. I cannot thank enough that man. He showed up as well to the Queen's Park rally from the beginning. Half of his family perished in Holocaust. That's why he knew he had to do whatever he can to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. And that's one of the reasons why I am here, because I know the history. You want to study the history. You don't want to erase the history. You know who tries to erase the history? Evil people. Good people will never try to erase the history. Good people are going to learn from the history, get better, and make sure we have a bright, beautiful future. That's what good people do. So whoever tries to erase the history and bring down different things, first I put them on notice, because a lot of people are confused, and I want to give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're confused, don't know what's going on. But after a while, like, come on. You know my speeches, guys. Like, it's a textbook what we've been doing right now in the history. In Nazi Germany, in Bolshevik Revolution, censorship and propaganda is always the first step. We've seen plenty of that in the last year, but I actually, on the way here, I was listening to What's Her Face Instagram, who also got deplatformed so many times. By the way, if you don't know, she actually lives in Toronto, guys. She marched with us many times, so I love that girl. She's amazing. So she was deplatformed, I don't know how many, countless times. But she actually shared this censorship started in 2018, I think she said, when they banned Alex Jones. When Sandy Hook was happening and they banned Alex Jones, so maybe earlier than 2018. Don't quote me on the date. But that was the first one. And people say, well, Alex Jones is controversial, this is okay, so whatever. But they went all the way to President of the United States last year. That's how crazy, let's go. That's how crazy and serious censorship is. You never want to censor anyone. You want to let the people do the work in terms of attention, right? And the point is, right now, the censorship and propaganda is unheard of. Because now they don't just censor us, which we used to, whatever. They censor doctors. They censor scientists. As nurses, as long as they don't agree with the narrative, you're going to be dismissed, like literally dismissed. Who listened to the interview of the surgeon from Saskatchewan that got suspended? I really would like for you to listen to that interview again, Sapkili. I really want you to listen to that interview again after what I'm going to share with you right now, because if you didn't catch that in the beginning, when you listen to it, what I'm going to bring attention to it, listen to again, and you'll see it right away, or you hear it. In that interview, as much as they want to suspend him and suppress him, they actually positioning him to be put in a crazy asylum. How many times did we ask him, we really want you to go and get some help? Pay attention to that. To me, as soon as I heard that, for me, my goosebumps almost went up. This is what they did in Soviet Union, in Nazi Germany. Anyone, they can put you in asylum, crazy asylum, and they're not going to see you again. People are not going to hear from you, see you again, nothing. And they're already conditioning, this is what's going to happen. And I don't have to tell you, Bill C-10 obviously passed. The senator hopefully going to not allow it to confirm. But as soon as we do that, we build Bill C-36. And come on, seriously, Bill C-36. Who knows about that bill? Good. If you don't know, please do yourself a favor. Ezra from Rebel News last, when was it? On Wednesday, I think, or Thursday? We do at 12 o'clock every day, we do live streams and discuss and everything. He spent 1 hour breaking down Bill C-36, so I highly recommend watch that. 3 important points from that. One. Woohoo! They trying to change criminal code. Unreal. Criminal code. Number one. Number two, any blogger, Twitter, YouTuber, Facebook, or whatever, you can be fined personally to the victim or plaintiff against you $20,000 for one post. And then to the government, $50,000 fine. And go in jail for a year or house arrest. And by the way, you have to give your fluids for the tests. This is Canada.
Today.
Seriously, now, this is Canada. Like, are you kidding me? Unreal. And we're gonna have people coming to the hockey game and then rioting after, but not coming and protesting against that. Pay attention to that as well. This has been happening for whole humanity millennia. In ancient times, they distract you with some circus and coliseum games, so then you don't pay attention to what's going on. This is our modern coliseum. Give the peasants and the slaves some games to distract. In the meantime, we come back and take everything away from them and make them slaves. But let me tell you some good news, because I always want to leave with a positive impact. And then I'm going to bring in Kili. Are you okay to speak? Sure. I'm going to bring after me Kili to speak. Amazing business owner, freedom warrior. She has tremendous initiatives to share. Stay tuned for all of that. But some of the good news for you guys, that you know that everything that you've been doing up to now is making a difference. 100%, no question about it. The universe is so balanced, it's impossible for you to apply all these efforts around the world and don't get anything out of it. There is a compound effect to everything that we're doing. For example, CBC, ooh, government-run propaganda brainwashing station, right? Just to show you, last year, when I was bashing them and a few other people, let me see where I should go, here. They were turning off my comments personally. I have a screenshot where they took off my personal comment features and a few other people. Now, they just shut it off completely. Like, completely. You cannot comment on CBC anymore. And they say, oh, we do this for the, I think they had to change it because they got so much laughing stock, but they said, you know, this is our pilot project. We want to make sure that, you know, we have a balanced commentary, and we want to make sure there's no misinformation getting spread. But guys, they could not keep up with us spreading the truth on their platform, so they had to shut it off completely. So that shows to you that we are definitely making an impact. Because like I said, if we didn't do anything, that means we're not impactful enough. If you're not trying to stop us, if you're not trying to slow us down, if you're not trying to silence us, you know, we're not significant. So as long as those things that keep happening to you, as long as Kelly getting arrested countless times, that means she's impactful. That means the government doesn't want her to be around. Same way they do that in North Korea. Same way they do in China. You know, if you're not for the government, they try to get rid of you. And they're obviously trying to make this here in Canada, and we're not going to stand for that. Yes to Canada, no to China. That's a new t-shirt, yes? Who wants to make it? Yes to Canada, no to China. Just say no. 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 On that topic, just say no. Again, give it up to Chris Guy. I don't care what people say. You can never take away the amount of action that man takes every single day. Okay? Unless you're at his level of doing something every single day, please don't open your mouth. Okay? Thank you. We are none of us is perfect. Look in the mirror. If you want to cast a stone at somebody else, look in the mirror first. Okay? And I really like that saying, you're never going to be criticized by someone who's doing more than you. Okay? So, but those are some of the good news. This case right here, guys, and we're going to talk more about it because you need to know, I'm going to leave it for a little bit of the end, talking about the case. of... Where's Ed? Help me with the feedback. Jimmy, can you help me with the feedback? I don't know how to do this stuff. Back, you think back? No, it's even worse, I don't know. So, Adam Skelly case, guys. Thank you. Beautiful, thank you. Adam Skelly case. First of all, the fundraising for him was over 300,000. Give it up for yourself and everybody else that contributed. Again, a lot of people went Adam Skelly, oh, he's a scam, this and that, like again, blabbing their mouth, whatever. You know what? I don't feel too bad for the people in the sense of like people get confused, misled. So I have compassion. So if you don't know, ask. If you're not sure, maybe still figure it out, right? But Adam had to go through different legal teams to find the right one. And trust me, I don't have to tell you, anyone who tried to find a lawyer to represent them in this nonsense is a shit show, okay? And you can take that, whatever. But, so finally when Adam was able to get a proper legal team and I'll connect him to Chris Weisdorf, already a lot of money was spent, unfortunately, but you know, still some left to get this going. And Chris knew that we have to have bulletproof case. What happened is Adam is challenging the Reopening Act of Ontario. All these experts that they're telling us that they're basing all these decisions and ruining lives and killing people for the last 15 months, Adam Skelly is challenging that. One man. And initially, he had Judge Kimmel. Initially, in December, Judge Kimmel was assigned to Adam Skelly case. And from what we looked at her previous history, she's a relatively new judge, but she looked like she's an impartial, neutral judge. Because she had a couple of rulings in the past, and she already ruled initially on Adam to take away the gag order that he had on the social media. Imagine, a Canadian man was gagged not to talk on social media about freedoms, about businesses opening up. In Canada, last year. What? Right? So, thank you for coming. So as soon as that happened, within 2 weeks, judge got replaced. Anybody knew about that? That initial judge that Skelly had got replaced? Anybody knew about that? No. That's why I'm doing this, guys. People have no idea what's going on in our country. It's crazy, and you're part of the movement, right? And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad, but please understand how it is on the other side of the people that are not even part of the movement. So when you're telling people how they don't know, this is how they don't know. You're part of the movement and you don't even know. Right? So have compassion for the others that have no idea what's happening. All they do is they watch the news, they swallow the propaganda non-stop, and they think that's the truth. Any immigrant to Canada, first generation, and especially older, does not watch the news. Because we know it's a BS propaganda. Only Canadians watch it because they don't know. North Koreans, Venezuelans, Chinese people that immigrated here, escaped the communist regimes, any former Soviet Union bloc, Polish people, Romanian, Bulgarian, like, we know what's up. We can see the writing on the wall. It's not even that subtle. It's subtle for you guys if you are born here or you haven't experienced it before. But for us, we can see it. When CBC last year in April was putting masks on statues and laughing about it, my alarm went big up. April of last year. Is this the behavior you're gonna normalize? Oh no. I was born in Soviet Union, as most of you know, in 1980. So I caught the last 11 years of the Union. It collapsed in 91. So I was indoctrinated into communism. To the point where at 3 years old, being in Moscow, I was born in Kazakhstan in Almaty, which is, you know, about 3 hours flight from Moscow. So my first time in Moscow, I was free with my parents. It was in the middle of the winter. And I had a meltdown. I really saying this for a reason. I don't want to take too much time, but it's so significant, guys, if you understand what I'm trying to tell you. A 3-year-old child had a meltdown because my parents said, you cannot go see Grandpa Lenin because it's cold and the line is 4 hours long. I had a meltdown as a 3 years old. My parents are not communist fanatics. That was part of the indoctrination happened outside of our house. watching cartoons, listening to people at 3. Who has 3-year-old child or close to that age, or maybe knows a child who's 3? Raise your hand. All of you do. A nephew, a neighbor, child, like all of you have children who are that age. They are being heavily indoctrinated into COVIDism. That's the new cult. That's the new religion, COVIDism. Listen when people asking you questions. Don't you believe in COVID? Huh? What do you mean believe in COVID? You believe in God. And then you trust the science, the actual science, not paid and funded by the criminals who they are. Every single big pharma is a criminal, convicted in the court, forced to pay settlements. Every single one of them. And this is who we're gonna blindly, with no accountability, take poison in our bodies and put it onto our children? Crazy. But this is why it's so important to do what we do now, because we have to protect the children. They are perfectly fine with the amount of adults they already been indoctrinated. They don't care about the adults, they're after the children. The agenda is for the next 10 years, 2030 guys, next 10 years. So if a child is 3 right now, they're gonna be a teenager in the next 10 years. The agenda is to create little obedient robots. That's all it is. And they're already doing that in school, I don't have to tell you. One of the main reasons why I went all in May of last year, because I was able to catch this recording from the principal in Quebec, where she literally by herself did a tutorial how it's going to be for kids going into school. The kids are going to stay on the circles, then they're going to be staying on these lines, there's going to be distancing, they're going to be wearing masks, they're going to be sitting on a table facing the wall, not to play. They told us all that in May of last year. That's why we went all out, and people was like, no, it's not going to happen. Why? My close friends told me, like, Vlad, why are you doing this? You don't need this. You have a business. Your client's gonna go after you. Like, you're gonna lose so much. Don't rattle the boat. You know, what's the big deal? I'm gonna put a mask on my child for half an hour and that's okay. I'm like, huh? But they don't see it. A year later, after all this nonsense, it's insane. So, but going back to the Adam Skelly case, and then I'm gonna bring Kelly in 5 minutes. Chris Weisdorf knew we had to have a bulletproof case because this new judge, they got assigned, her name is Judge Akbar Ali. Judge Akbar Ali, I want you all to Google her name and see what other cases she ruled on. There were a couple cases she ruled on last year. And all I'm gonna do is ask you to do your own homework. I'm not gonna talk about it, you do your homework. Judge Akbar Ali, go on Google and see the cases that she ruled on last year. This judge got assigned to Adam Skelly case. Do you think it's a coincidence? I don't think so. However, I have to be positive and I have to know that what we do matters and what we do making a difference. How are you? Akbar Ali, A-K-B-A-R-A-L-Y. As soon as you put Judge Akbar Ali, you'll find it. And you can see on Adam Skelly case, you can see the judge presiding. The bunch of flyers that have been shared, her name is at the top, Akbar Ali J, Judge Akbar Ali. So you can see that. Thank you for asking. So Adam Skelly has 6 experts. Who knew he has 6 experts? So about 20% of the crowd. Good. But about 80% and that's what I'm saying. Other people have no idea. Chris Weisdorf assembled PhDs, MDs, professors, you name it, covered all the bases possible, 6, including Dr. Bridle. Give it up for Dr. Bridle, everybody. The amount of respect I have for that man is unreal. Because again, he didn't have to do it. The amount of sacrifice that he already went through, it's despicable how they're trying to go after him. His own colleagues, doctors, releasing private medical information about his parents? Are you kidding me? Again, in Canada, this is what's happening? Unreal. But again, not unprecedented if you look on the other side of the world currently happening. This is exactly what happens in North Korea, in Cuba, in Venezuela, in Iran, in China, in Russia, in former Soviet Union republics, you name it, it's happening right now. And in Canada also. But Dr. Bridle is a vaccinologist. His profession is to make vaccines. And he's an expert on Adam Skelly's side. This never happened before. Never. I'm getting goosebumps. I've been on this fight against Big Pharma for the last 20 years. Because they make you sick. It's called sick care, not health care. The true health professionals are chiropractors, naturopaths, nutritionists, personal trainers, physicians, physiotherapists. Those are the people you go to get healthy. You don't go healthy to get to the doctor. You go to the doctor to get some drugs so they can cover your symptoms, and then you can come back and be a good client. You know, most doctors are drug dealers, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stand by my word. Most doctors are drug dealers, right? And what we do is we hook you up on a free supply first, right? And then you're gonna pay later anyway. But this is unprecedented when we're having doctors and professors and physicians taking a stand for what's taking place in the last year. Never happened before. So-called anti-vaxxers are called Team Human. Anti-maskers is Team Human. Because we're human. We're not a Team Pfizer, we're not Team Toronto, we are Team Human, because that unites us all. But this is unreal. You have a doctor who was responsible for creating mRNA technology. The doctor responsible for creating mRNA technology, Dr. Malone, I think his last name is, he's getting censored. Because he's saying the damage that this is causing is way more than anything can prevent. And he's getting censored. But this had to happen this way for all of this to come together. For these people to come together, to take a stand for what is right, to be on the right side of history.
I was there on the megaphone.
And I'm going to talk more about the experts because I need you to know the experts that we have on our side. But the government, to really show to the whole country that the truth is on the government side, the facts are on the government side, they brought one expert. One. He's useless. He's a hired shill. He wrote 15 pages of report and didn't even know basic terminology. Because they had nothing else. They don't have anything. They have gag orders not to discuss so-called experts in science that they're basing this all on. So, you don't need to have a law degree. You don't need to have any high knowledge to understand. There's 6 experts, the best in all the fields, and there's one, useless one. Which side of justice, if you really want to serve the justice, are you going to be on? Judge Akbar Ali. Which side of the justice are you going to be on? Last year in one case, she said, I don't have any experts. And the report that's been submitted is not sufficient enough for me because I don't have enough experts to validate that kids don't spread this. Because the sick kids reports was submitted into one case, and she said, I don't have any experts to back up this information. Well, I hope you have enough experts now.
Once you start speaking, just pretend you're on the phone.
One expert against 6. Roll on the side of the justice. I want to bring in amazing leader, a freedom warrior, a business owner that took a hard stand and, you know, representing We All Essential. We All Essential was launched as this business empowerment network, October 31st at the Danda Square. Give it up for Danda Square. That was a powerful day. We launched We All Essential because we wanted to make sure that we are all essential. We can open our businesses. The government has no right to tell us how to conduct our life. We as adults know what to do. We're not hurting anyone. We're not forcing people to come to our businesses, right? Same way with Adam Skelly. Nobody was forced to go to his restaurant. We had people showing up in masks. Nobody gave him any hard time.
Nobody's forced to go to church.
Nobody forced to go to church. We have a pastor. Thank you. We have a pastor. I want to bring Kili on, but I'll come back. We have a pastor in jail right now. Right now, in Alberta. What? Alberta puts pastors in jail. So much that American politicians, not Canadian, except for a couple, American politician has to ask Congress to put Canada on a watch list for persecutions of freedom of religion in Canada. Come on. It's gonna take a guy from communist Soviet Union to yell about freedom of religion, but whatever it takes, yes to yes. I'm gonna come back, talk about it more. I wanna bring Kili on, amazing warrior. She's gonna talk about tremendous initiative. Please give it up for all the business owners taking a stand. Right here, this one. We are all essentially, if you don't know, is a business empowerment network. We have hundreds and hundreds of businesses that opened in the last 6 months. Beautiful. You see? How's it going? Yeah, so talk about your experience.